In a stunning move, the Philippine government has abruptly canceled its $5.5 billion deal for American F-16 fighter jets, sending shockwaves through defense circles from Washington to Beijing. The announcement, made at Malacanang Palace, marks a decisive end to what was once the centerpiece of the Philippines' military modernization. Officials cited financial constraints and shifting strategic priorities, signaling a pivot away from prestige acquisitions toward pragmatic defense policy. In Washington, disappointment was palpable, as the deal was seen as a cornerstone of U.S. deterrence in the Indo-Pacific. The cancellation forces a strategic rethink for both nations, leaving a void in alliance plans and raising questions about the future of regional security. For the Philippine public and military, the loss of the F-16s is more than a missed upgrade. It's a symbol of uncertainty in the country's defense trajectory. The focus now shifts from when the jets will arrive to what this reversal means for the Philippines' place in a volatile region. The era of high-profile arms deals is over. A new chapter in Philippine defense has begun. The F-16 deal was more than a purchase. It was a statement of alliance and intent. For Manila and Washington, it reaffirmed a 74-year-old defense partnership and promised to elevate military cooperation. The F-16 Viper, a global symbol of U.S. air power, would have integrated the Philippines into a network of American allies, enhancing interoperability and deterrence. Its acquisition was seen as inevitable, the final step in a long diplomatic marathon. The sudden cancellation shatters this perception, challenging the trust and predictability that underpinned the alliance. For the Philippine Air Force, the F-16s represented a leap in capability, filling a gap left since 2005. Their loss reopens old vulnerabilities, forcing defense planners back to square one. The promise of a modern Air Force has been withdrawn, leaving a vacuum in both capability and confidence. The collapse of the deal is not just a setback, it's a profound shift in the nation's defense identity. The alliance must now find new ways to adapt and move forward. The government's rationale was clear: the F-16s were simply too expensive for a developing nation facing urgent domestic needs. At $5.5 billion, the jets would have strained the budget, diverting resources from infrastructure, healthcare, and poverty alleviation. Beyond the price tag, officials cited the high long-term costs of maintenance, training, and dependency on U.S. support. The decision marks a shift from prestige assets to a more sustainable, self-reliant defense posture. The new vision prioritizes affordable, practical equipment tailored to the Philippines' unique geography and security challenges. The focus is on maritime patrol, disaster response, and territorial defense, not high-end air combat. By diversifying suppliers and seeking technology transfer, Manila aims to reduce dependency and build a more resilient military. The cancellation is not just about saving money, it's a strategic declaration of autonomy. National interest, not alliance expectations, will now drive defense policy. The decision has ignited a fierce debate across the Philippines. Supporters argue it's a wise reprioritization, putting social and economic needs above costly military hardware. They see true security as rooted in a strong economy and healthy population, not expensive jets. Critics, including military leaders and defense analysts, warn that scrapping the F-16s leaves the nation exposed amid rising regional threats. For the Air Force, the cancellation is a blow to morale and modernization hopes. The controversy highlights a deeper tension. Should the Philippines focus on development or invest heavily in defense as a frontline state? The F-16 debate has become a proxy for competing visions of the nation's future. The outcome will shape not just defense policy, but the country's broader economic and foreign policy direction. The nation now faces tough questions about what it means to be secure and prosperous in the 21st century. The Philippines' move reflects a broader trend among Asia's middle powers seeking greater strategic autonomy. Countries like Indonesia and Vietnam are balancing ties with the US and China, refusing to be drawn into binary choices. Canceling the F-16 deal asserts Manila's independence, signaling that decisions will be made in the Philippines, not dictated by superpowers. Middle powers are wary of entanglement and dependency, preferring diversified partnerships and flexibility. Economic pragmatism drives this shift. Defense spending must be smart, efficient, and justifiable to the public. The new approach prioritizes value and sustainability over prestige. By reclaiming agency, the Philippines aims to be an active architect of its own security, not a passive recipient of guarantees. This is a coming-of-age moment for middle powers, demanding respect and a multipolar world order. The F-16 cancellation is a bold declaration of this new reality. In place of the F-16s, the Philippines is embracing the Self-Reliant Defense Posture, or SRDP. This strategy shifts focus from high-end imports to diversified, affordable suppliers, like Sweden's Gripen or South Korea's Fa-50. The goal: avoid dependency, increase bargaining power, and tailor acquisitions to real needs: maritime awareness, coastal defense, and surveillance. Future purchases will favor light attack aircraft, patrol drones, and missile batteries over a handful of expensive jets. A key pillar is technology transfer and building a domestic defense industry, turning the Philippines from consumer to producer. Local co-production and maintenance agreements will be central to new deals, creating jobs and expertise at home. The SRDP aims to make the military more resilient, independent, and suited to the country's archipelagic geography. This is not isolationism, but a bid to become a stronger, more reliable partner. The strategy trades immediate capability for long-term independence and growth. Its success will define the future of Philippine security. Despite the F-16 shock, both Manila and Washington insist the alliance endures. The Mutual Defense Treaty remains, and joint exercises, intelligence sharing, and counter-terrorism cooperation continue. The relationship is evolving. The Philippines seeks a more balanced partnership, not automatic alignment with U.S. priorities. Washington must adapt to a more assertive, independent ally. This redefinition could ultimately strengthen the alliance, making it more resilient and mutually respectful. The Philippines' self-reliant posture aims to make it a more capable security provider, serving both nations' interests. The immediate challenge is to manage fallout and rebuild trust through flexible diplomacy and new arms deals. The U.S. may need to offer more affordable tech-sharing packages. Manila must show autonomy, doesn't mean drifting from democratic partners. The future of the alliance depends on navigating this new, complex dynamic with maturity and foresight. The F-16 episode is a test and an opportunity for both sides. The Philippine decision highlights a global shift in arms procurement. The old model, buying off the shelf from major powers, is fading as buyers demand more value, control, and industrial participation. Nations want sovereignty over their defense, wary of being hostage to suppliers for parts and upgrades. Diversifying suppliers and insisting on technology transfer reduces this risk and builds local capability. Defense spending is now seen as a strategic investment in economic development, not just security. Second-tier exporters like South Korea, Turkey, and Sweden are gaining ground by offering affordable, flexible deals with local benefits. The US and other giants face tougher competition and must adapt to stay relevant. The new arms market is about partnership, not patronage. The Philippines is at the forefront of this transformation. Canceling the F-16 deal is a pivotal moment for the Philippines and Asia's security landscape. In the short term, it creates a capability gap and uncertainty, potentially emboldening rivals. But if the self-reliant defense posture succeeds, the Philippines could emerge as a more resilient and influential regional player. A robust domestic defense industry and layered capabilities will make it a harder target and a more proactive force in regional security. The move signals to great powers that middle nations' loyalties can't be taken for granted, pushing for more genuine partnerships. Other Southeast Asian countries may follow, accelerating a multipolar regional order. The Philippines is trading traditional alliance security for greater independence and self-reliance. If successful, this gamble will be remembered as the dawn of a new era, one where the Philippines shapes its own destiny in Asia